back to back with maybe a popular music song like, I don't know, Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, were not uncommon when we deployed in 2007, 2008. Many of you are familiar with the early days of Desert Storm when we employed a campaign called Shock and Awe. Well, as a brass quintet, we renamed that Bach and Awe. And that was really the crux of Bach and Awe, to be able to play a contrapunctus, or a piece of counterpoint by Bach, and follow it up with, I don't know, a John Bon Jovi song, Michael Jackson's Thriller, or Bohemian Rhapsody. This is the wide range that Renee spoke of that this group has to be capable of doing. And we're going to demonstrate a little bit of that for you right now by performing Bohemian Rhapsody as performed by the British rock supergroup Queen. It was performed also by Wright Brass, as I mentioned earlier. However, they do a lot of singing on it, which gives them a lot of breaks from actually playing their horns. Very ingenious. We're not very good singers, so we're not going to sing it all. I know you're disappointed. But we're going to play this Bohemian Rhapsody, and here's a short story of when we did play it, how it went over. We were in Kuwait, and we were lucky enough to be there during a time in which President George W. Bush was going to make an appearance. And we dropped everything that we were going to do. We had some troop support performances set up, and those kind of got scrapped, and we spent about 3 days with everybody kind of freaking out about the president coming to Kuwait, and was everything going to be just right and perfect. And when we finally did the performance, it was about 45 degrees outside, and I'm sure that those of you who have maybe attempted to play a brass instrument before, those aren't good conditions to play a brass instrument in. But we didn't have a choice. We were there, we were playing some pre-music for about 4,000 to 5,000 troops that were assembled waiting for President Bush, and we had gone through a couple of tunes and sort of a smattering of applause from the troops. And then I'm like, well, why don't we just do Bohemian Rhapsody? So we did Bohemian Rhapsody. We heard just the tinge of singing coming from the 4,000 to 5,000 troops assembled. And that was really neat. And I got to think that as a trumpet player in a brass quintet, that's about as close as we're going to get to being rock stars, because they were singing along with what we were doing. Even to the point where one of the troops was interviewed on NPR, and our tuba player's mother in Rochester, New York, heard this interview on NPR and called him and said, "Hey, you guys were on NPR today." I said, "Really? How were we on NPR?" Well, they interviewed this kid, and he said, "How did you like the president's speech today?" "Oh, well, it was okay, but he didn't really talk about deployment limitations or anything like that, but it was all right. At least I got to sing along with a classic Queen song." And then they cut to about 5 seconds of us in the background. But whatever, 15 minutes of fame, we're working our way there. All right, so without further ado, here is Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody.